Ladies and gents, how you doing? There's loads of crime going on this weekend, loads of it. You live in broken Britain, it's an absolute cesspit. You can't go 10 seconds without reading about a foreign diddler. So I was spoiled for choice this weekend. I was going to go with this fella doing a bit of surprise sexing in Birmingham. Obviously, it is weird if you go on Birmingham Live. That's unbelievable. That is an endless treasure trove of crime and criminality, Birmingham Live. Well, because it's in Birmingham. Have you ever been to Birmingham? If we had a great fire of Birmingham, Birmingham would look better after the blaze. That's how much of a dump Birmingham is. Because there's no productive people in Birmingham anymore. It's just a foreign enclave. So, yeah, Birmingham Live, there's loads of good stuff on there. 2 foreign teens arrested after killing a foreign teen, obviously. At least the victims and the criminals are foreign in Birmingham. So, you know, less likely to kill a red-blooded Englishman if you start attacking people with meat cleavers on the streets of Birmingham. But I was going to do this one. Birmingham flamethrower attack rapper. That's a pretty good one. And best of all, to try to spin it as if it's all Tony Romo's fault. I love that. Go mental with the flamethrower. Oh, it's all Tommy's fault because he said stuff. Do me a favour, Omar. But the best story I'm doing, because it's got the best name in it, because we all struggle pronouncing the names of criminals in England this day and age, don't we? Because none of them are called Tony Smith or Alan Brown. No, they've all got, a few too many vowels in there. So this one is the best story because the name's the best. From the Telegraph, snack bar terror suspect seeks asylum in Britain. Of course he does. Man questioned over the 2019 Easter bombings in Sri Lanka, which killed 6 Britons, says he fears persecution in Sri Lanka. Yeah, so he kills a load of British people, and the place he wants to flee to for protection is the place where all the people were from who he killed in the first place. That makes loads of sense, doesn't it? Right, this is mental. If we had the brains we were born with, if we had a spinal column and we weren't just a nation of invertebrates, yeah, that's what we are, a nation of invertebrates, he'd be terrified to go to Britain because there'd be some retribution waiting for him. But obviously not, because it's broken Britain, the third world cesspit, where people who have a bit of a tan get treated much better than the natives. So, of course, he wants to seek asylum in the UK, doesn't he? And we'll get to the name shortly. Please don't hold a grudge. I am quite a literate gentleman for a borough lad. But if anyone watching this can pronounce this without being pissed, or ripped to the tits on wobbly eggs, you're a better man than me, yeah. Okay, this is today's news, 24th of November 2025 by Charles Hammas. A suspected snack bar holy warrior questioned over bombings that killed 269 people is seeking asylum in the UK. Amazing. The unnamed asylum seeker, whoa, hang on, I'm sure I read his name earlier. Oh no, here we are. Sorry, it was a different crime. It was so many crimes, so little time. This Sujan Kethehesi Wara 30. He is a Sri Lankan national. That's where I've got confused. But he's actually a French diddler. So yeah, he's going to get extradited apparently. Sorry about that. So many Sri Lankan psychopaths moving to the UK. They all bleed into one. Back to the story at hand. So this unnamed asylum seeker was arrested over allegations that he was involved in the 2019 Easter bombings. The blast killed 6 Britons, including a mother and 2 children. Oh my God. So he is an oxygen thief, this fella, isn't he? Every breath he takes is an affront to humanity. The man who has been granted anonymity. Of course he has. Granted anonymity. Why do we do that? Why do we grant them anonymity? Poor old Cliff Richard got falsely accused by the BBC and they plastered his name all over the headlines, didn't they? And then you get this sack of shit, this horrible, evil psycho, full-blown religious zealot, murdered women and children, and they go, oh, we don't want to upset this poor bastard, do we? Of course we don't. He arrived in the UK in September 2022 and claimed asylum a month later. Unbelievable. He said since he left, he's had police officers attend his family home and he fears persecution if he returns home. It is unbelievable. His asylum claim for his wife and himself was initially rejected by the Home Office, but he won an appeal against the decision at an upper immigration tribunal. Listen to me, right? So we can stop there. Our legal system has been captured in its entirety by absolute lunatics, full-blown true believers in the woke commie cause, right? So they aren't impartial at all. A British judge is less impartial than a Guardian journalist. Yeah. So a twat in a wig is 10 times more likely to side with the killer if he's brown or if he's a different religion other than that horrible one Jesus used to talk about. So you're knackered. The system is broken. And the politicians constantly going, it's the law, like as if that's a be-all and end-all. That's an award-winning argument. It's the law. The law is an arse. The law is whatever you decide it is, bent politician. Change the law. Bin the law. Why do we let these judges have so much power? Why are we taking the worst scum on planet Earth into the UK? And what use is he going to be? A Sri Lankan mental case. He's not going to be an engineer or a doctor or a scientist or a surgeon, is he? He's going to be a parasite for the entirety of his life in the UK. Shabzy Mahmood's going to do now. I mean, do you want to read the rest? Is there any point? Kind of know what it's going to say, don't we? Shabzy said she was going to announce major reforms, making refugee status temporary, never going to happen, and giving ministers powers to return migrants, never going to happen. Mahmood is also overhauling immigration appeals by replacing judges with adjudicators. Oh, that makes loads of sense, yeah. Big change, that. Imagine, it's going to be the same people. We're getting rid of judges. That'll sort the problem out. Will it? Yeah. Take your wig off. You're an adjudicator now. Oh, cheers. Done. What do you mean? Change, replacing judges with adjudicators. So having one brainwashed left-wing communist extremist in a wig replaced with a brain-dead, brainwashed communist extremist in a hat called an adjudicator. That doesn't sound like much of a change to me. No, I don't think that's going to get us any real progress. Definitely not. And then there's more information about the tourists. It was hardcore. They killed hundreds of people. This human toilet should not be in the United Kingdom. All right? Done. Easy. Don't care. Don't care what extenuating circumstances he claims to have. Don't care. He's a Sri Lankan. He's got less than nought to do with the UK. Get rid of it. We need an alternative government. We need all the big parties to get out the way. We need to take back control from the scum that lorded over us. We need to bin half the civil service and 90% of the judges and the lawyers. And we need to replace them with sensible people. Hopefully this new generation who's getting all right-wing because they know they've been stitched up, done up like a kipper since the day the mother's water broke. They've been stitched up their entire lives. Hopefully we can get some of them into power, and your average British judge in a decade's time will have the same political opinions as Steve Laws or something, and then maybe something good will come out of all this. But as it stands, we're knackered. It's completely preposterous. This guy shouldn't be nowhere near the UK. Don't care what his excuses are. Throw him out, right? Why do we import the dregs of society? I have no idea, but hopefully one of you can tell me in the comments. All right, that'll have to do it for the day. I'm going to my mother-in-law's for Thanksgiving, so I'm probably going to take a couple of days off, unless I can cobble together and take a laptop or something. We'll see. If I don't see you for a couple of days, have a good week. Make sure you keep working hard and paying your taxes so that the government can rob you and then give it all to, suicide bombers and shit. I'll have a good one. I'll see you shortly. Toodle pip. Cheers.